Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stop Being Sold, a community of informed consumers who are sick and tired of being sold financial products they don't understand or need. So if you're tired of being a transaction, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you never miss another video from us. And while you're at it, if you like the content of this video, go ahead and hit that like button, please. So how are you today, Brian?
Hey, Michelle, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm excited about today's topic. I think it's important. We're talking about what's all the rage with self-directed IRAs. This is something that we're seeing more commercials about. I'm seeing like ads on YouTube, that sort of things pop up.
Yep.
And it's important to know what you're getting into before you, invest in it. So, we've got self-directed IRAs. They're popular because they do allow you to invest in assets that are not allowed in most traditional IRAs, namely crypto, real estate, gold. And so I would like to just pick your brain on this.
Perfect.
What do people need to know before they make, for example, decide, oh no, I don't want this Roth IRA anymore. I'm going to contribute to a self-directed.
This is a great topic, Michelle, because you're seeing it every day on the TV channel. I used to see this quite a bit late at night on the infomercials. Yeah. Especially with these, own your own gold in your IRA. So let's talk about this because it is concerning that it's over promoted in my aspect. And I get a lot of phone calls from clients or prospective clients about this. And so it's time to, let's break it down. Let's tell what it is. And you just mentioned it. One of the biggest things about this is it allows you to invest into other assets that you don't see in traditional IRAs. So you're not going to see a self-directed IRA with mutual funds, ETFs, or stuff like that, or stocks or bonds or anything like that. You're going to go into like real estate, crypto. Crypto's the big one now you see a lot more commercials. And then if I'm not mistaken, Michelle, wasn't one on the Super Bowl talking about the self-directed crypto accounts? There was like 8 different crypto accounts on the Super Bowl this year. So
yeah, for sure. There was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
let's go through the list real quick. So we've mentioned crypto, real estate, gold, commodities is also in there, correct?
Commodities. You see, and not as much, but back in the late 2008, 2009, you see a lot of the tax liens. They still talk about them a lot now, but not like it was. Limited partnerships and other types of alternative investments.
But
oil.
You can't do collectibles in there, right?
No collectibles. And this is one of the things you can watch.
No baseball cards, no whatever.
Right. So no Pokemon. So and that's one thing that's hitting the
absolutely
crave today.
Right. Yep. So let's talk about, we talked about what types of investments can you have in a self-directed IRA? What are some of the self-directed IRA rules that people need to be aware of? Okay.
And one of the things is, remember what we're calling this, okay, and what the name of it is, self-directed. And just to explain that into more detail, it is what the name says it is. It's a type of IRA that you're going to direct the investments in. So as we go into the rules, self-directed IRAs can either be a Roth IRA or a traditional, right? And they have the same contribution limits as your normal IRAs, $6,000 in 2021, 2022, or $7,000 over 50.
Got it.
But here is the kicker. This is all determined now by the IRS. So if IRS is involved in it, the transactions or the assets are inside there. Let's say, God forbid, you put something in there that was prohibited, like a piece of artwork that wasn't allowed or whatever. You realize, Michelle, because it's self-directed, you have to do all the research for this. You have to understand what you're putting in there.
You have to read the fine print that the custodian,
read the fine print,
IRS and the custodian are putting out.
You're exactly right. And the entire account could now be distributed and fully taxable if IRS says, oh, that transaction is prohibited. What are you going to do? who are you going to blame? Because it's self-directed.
Right.
You have to do
So
all this research.
it's not just the portion, like the earnings on that prohibited asset. It's the entire account can basically just be liquidated, and then you're stuck with
Done.
the penalties and the taxes. That 10%.
Could you imagine having a great investment and all of a sudden it grew by 100x, and all of a sudden you had $1 million portfolio and IRS says, "Oh my goodness, Brian, that's not allowed."
Yeah.
Now it's fully distributed, fully taxable in the year that they distributed it. So
Okay.
gotta be careful.
All right. Well, I want to talk, you just mentioned like, what are some of the reasons from opening? One would be alternative assets that may have potential to grow more
Right.
than mutual fund.
Much higher growth potential.
Sure. 100%. So
And
what else?
control.
Yeah. Well, control. Right.
Yeah, never forget that one, because it's control over your assets. It's self-directed. You're directing what you want in your retirement, which is great. I love that.
Yeah.
But you truly have to understand it. So,
well, you have to be engaged with it, right?
Yes.
That's the kicker. You have to, this isn't something you can set and forget like a lot of people do with their IRAs, and every year just fund them and deal with it later. This is really about, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know the rules.
right.
And stay on top of it.
Yeah, because there can be some negatives too. And we talked about some of the positives. Let's look at some of the negatives. The custodian, wherever you're at, let's say it's XYZ brokerage company that sets up your self-directed IRA, they're not going to give you investment advice. They're not allowed to. So you personally, that's why it's called self-directed, must do it all, from the research to finding what research on the assets, see if the assets are allowed in there, read the IRS rules, follow up on it. Don't forget, you could have higher fees because of the growth potential, and sometimes the higher growth assets that you put into your retirement accounts, custodians can charge you a higher fee because there's more risk involved and there's more work. Even though they're not doing a lot of the work here, they can still charge you more for it and say, well, this is what we have to do and whatever. But also think about this. The assets that you put in there could be less liquid.
Right.
So you might not be able to sell them as fast as a mutual fund or as fast as an ETF or a stock, right? And also all the compliance and IRS rules, following the IRS rules, are basically on you. So that's some of the negatives of one.
Okay. All right. Well, now they got out of the way. If you're still watching this and you're thinking, you know what, I still want to know, I would like to try it. Let's talk about who a self-directed IRA is really good for, and also who it's not.
Okay.
Besides the basics. Look, I mean, you have to be engaged. Who it's not good for is people with no investment experience and don't know what they're doing and don't want to be engaged. So
right.
Let's back up. Who's it good for?
Michelle, let me ask you a question. Let's use you for example. Do you enjoy investing?
Yes.
You like it? Do you research your own investments?
I do.
Would you like to have more control over your investments?
More control for sure.
You want higher potential for increase of returns, higher returns?
Absolutely.
And do you possibly want to hedge your investments against volatility or economic conditions?
Yes.
Congratulations. You're the perfect fit. That's what it is. It's that simple, Michelle.
Well, okay. And it goes back to everything we always say. What is it that you want to do? What kind of an investor are you? How much effort are you willing to put into something, and then go from there? Right.
And so you're the perfect fit for a self-directed IRA. It makes sense for you. You understand it. You're willing to do the research. You want to hedge volatility. You want to hedge inflation. You want potential of higher returns. You want control over your investments. That's you. You're a perfect fit. So.
Okay. So who it's not good for, we talked a little bit about, you have little or no investment experience. What else do we need?
How about this one? You don't pay attention to details, like reading the fine print. If you don't open your 401k statement or your investment statements today,
not right.
Self-directed is not for you. It does not make sense for you. Also, if you're just after a quick buck, like making a quick short-term gain, why go into self-directed? It doesn't make sense for you. And if you can't stay on top of the rules and regulations from IRS, from anything as far as investments,
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
follow the rules, what's passing in Congress that affect your, however you're investing. If you can't do that, stay away from it. It's not for you. That's simple.
Well, and like you said earlier, you can't call the custodian. They can't, and they can't. They legally cannot give you investment advice.
Right.
I mean, they may be able to tell you, hey, look, this is what's coming down the line with the IRS, you know, in terms of regulation, because that's what they're going to inform their consumers or customers about what's going on. But nobody's gonna be there to save you.
You're right. And you just missed custodian. So think about this. If you already have an advisor that you're working with and you're happy with and things are going well, why do you need a self-directed IRA? Ask them if you're the perfect fit for one, because most likely they'll say no. And not just because you may invest elsewhere.
Sure.
They may give you the honest opinion, like we're trying to do here today, that this may not be good for you. So.
Okay. So what I'm taking away from this is don't buy into all the hype that's out there with commercials and the advertising. They are great. I mean, I love the idea of the self-directed IRA. I think it's fantastic, but it's just not going to be a right fit for everybody. And you can really get into trouble. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want to make a mistake because I didn't read the fine print, only to have my entire account distributed. Yeah.
And now you pay taxes and penalty if you're under 59
and penalties on that. Exactly. All right. Well, if you like the content of this video, please hit that like button. And also, if you have questions, comments, if you want to see us cover something specifically on maybe like crypto self-directed IRAs with crypto in it or with real estate or whatever, you just have questions in general, drop them into the comments below because we do answer those. And also we make videos on some of our questions we get.
Perfect. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. And thanks, Brian. Have a good one.
You're welcome.